guys, we're gonna get down to the bottom of this and see what Sean David thinks, and then we're gonna make a decision of our own. Will Larry Bird dominate today's NBA? Would he? Could he? Never know. But a lot of people probably say he probably could. A lot of people probably say no, because he's not that athletic. But you gotta think about it. Larry Bird had a very high IQ when it comes to basketball. But no talking. We're gonna get into the video. Subscribe if you're new, and we just find out. Wait. I got my headphones, man. I'm tripping. I got a lot going on today. We got a lot of videos to do today, so let's get it.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I'm Sean David.
What's up, Sean?
Let's talk some old school basketball.
Yes, sir.
Having an old school YouTube NBA channel, of course, sometimes I gotta be honest and admit that I'm a little bit biased when it comes to comparing former NBA players to today players. But that has also a lot to do with, hey, I was a witness of the golden age of NBA basketball. Having said that, in this video, I want to take one of my favorite players, Larry Bird, and show you guys why I feel that he would still dominate in today's NBA. But before we start with this video, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also click on the notifications button so you always get notified when I upload a new video. And I would say, let's get right into this stuff.
Oh, I missed it. I missed the explosion.
LeBron's physical, if not athletic ability is a gift. Larry's IQ in basketball, competitiveness is, uncanny. Like Larry's ability to make tough shots, his shooting, his IQ is just, man, come on, man.
So how am I going to approach this? Well, there are some major categories like scoring, defensively, and all this kind of stuff, which I want to take a look at Larry Bird's capability and see if he would still match up in today's game. Okay, I want to start off by addressing the elephant in the room and also the reason why most younger folks don't think that Larry Bird could match up in today's game. Let's be honest, today's game is way faster, and of course the average player today can still jump out of the building, which you can't compare with the 80s and the 90s, okay? Even I as an old school fan have to admit to that. But even in the 80s, you had the more athletic guys and some guys who weren't athletic at all, but still were very good basketball players. I mean, even a Magic Johnson is not the most athletic guy in the world, but still we're talking today about the best point guard of all time. And a more recent example is Dirk Nowitzki. Even a younger Dirk Nowitzki was never athletic, but still that guy could score. Why? Because he figured a way out how to be productive without being athletic. So if somebody wants to tell me that Larry Bird couldn't be productive in today's game because he's not athletic, sorry, but not a chance. Some of the greatest players of all time have not been really athletic. I mean, Paul Pierce, John Stockton, Magic Johnson, and even some of the great players of today like Steph Curry and Chris Paul aren't the most athletic guys in the world. They're way more important things to the game than being athletic, even in today's game.
It really is.
And the next category, which is scoring, basically goes hand in hand with the first one. So how can Larry Bird, who was not fast, can't run, can't jump, is going to score in today's game? Well, he was the slowest guy back in the 80s, and he was still able to score.
He wasn't the slowest.
Why? Because that guy was versatile and a very smart player. Plus, he had a go-to move. I mean, now you look at Luka Doncic and you say, wow, that guy can score because he has that great step back. Well, Larry Bird was doing that in the 80s.
Yeah, he had it too.
You have to remember that guy was 6'9", had a very high release, and could literally shoot over everybody. Plus, if you take a closer look to his game,
one of my videos, somebody commented and said Larry Bird was like 6'10", 6'11", that he was much taller than Magic Johnson. No, he wasn't. They were the same height.
That guy had so many moves, he was just impossible to figure out. And he was the master of making difficult shots. Now let me tell you what would make Larry Bird unstoppable and unguardable in today's game and even stand out in today's game. You have to remember, back in the days, not many bigs were shooting the threes. Larry Bird is a 6'9" guy who was shooting around 40% in most of his seasons. Of course, in today's game, that is nothing special. But how many big players do we have that can shoot a three, have a really good post game, and be one of the best passers in the NBA? Exactly, and that makes him unguardable. If you give him too much room, he will shoot right in your face. If you guard him close, he will take you to the post and rip you apart. And if you are a good defender and try to make life miserable for him, he will always find the open man. And that worked back in the 80s, and believe me, that will still work in today's game. Next on my list, I have the clutchness gene, and no matter if it's the 70s, the 80s, or today, that is something that not many players have. I mean, back in the days, you had guys like Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, and so on. And in today's game, of course, we got a Damian Lillard, we got a Kawhi Leonard, and a handful of other guys who can make shots when the game's on the line. But Larry Bird was the master of making the shot when the game mattered, and having that quality today would make him a valuable asset to any team.
9 seconds to go. This is it. You can count it down with me.
Can't forget this one.
Inbounds, it comes to Maxwell. Max puts it on the floor. We're down to 6. Bird in the corner. Double fake. Jumper. Score! Larry Bird!
That's crazy. I've seen this probably about 10 times now, but it's still crazy to me.
He wasn't out to play basketball for the money. He was out there to step up and win.
This is our song. It can't be silenced.
Okay.
And look in your eyes and say to you, you can't beat me.
They clear it out a bit for John. Larry tries to fight his way through with Barkley all over him. They're not going to call a foul.
Oh. Walker, what you doing on the floor? Girl, get up.
He had unshakable confidence. If he could get his shot off, he felt like we was going to win the ball game.
2-point Maverick lead. Bird's the man they want to have it. Yes, indeed.
Bird, 4-3. Yes, Larry Bird.
Pull up on the fast break.
Celtics lead it by 1. What can you say about Larry Bird?
The next category is also a very important one. Hustle. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh,
How
man,
many
he's a
NBA
hustle
superstars
like
you see,
crazy.
especially in nowadays NBA, who hustle for every loose ball? And
It's
Larry
not
Bird
many
was doing
nowadays that
even
do
in his
that.
30s, in his mid-30s, when his back was hurting and that guy could hardly walk, that guy was hustling for every loose ball. And this is something that you have to understand. There are certain qualities that are bigger than the era. No matter if it's the 50s, the 60s, or even until today, a great hustle player is always valuable to your team.
It really
and having
is.
your superstar also being the most hustling guy on your team, man, that was crazy. I mean, let's be honest. How many of today's superstars are considered to be great hustle players? Case
I
closed.
don't know. I can't think about the top of my head. Oh, give me that. Look, diving in the third row to say, God damn.
And that's with a 30-point lead, folks, with 4:05 remaining in the third.
And the next category on my list is toughness. So let's start with the mental toughness. Larry Bird is known to be the best trash talker in NBA history. Why? Because he could actually back it up. You can talk to any NBA legend from the 80s and the 90s, they will all confirm Larry Bird would tell you what he would do, and he would do it. I mean, how crazy was that?
When a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots, and, you know, Bird talked a lot of trash.
And that's in New Orleans.
That's in New Orleans. In that game, we're on the free throw line, and he's like, he literally says, left side over across the 3, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
And of course, then there's the physical toughness. I mean, back in the days, guys couldn't sit out. You had to play your 82 games, and if you didn't play, you were seriously injured. I mean, having that mentality in today's game, sacrificing your body and understand the obligation to give it
That just shows
100%
how
every
much
single night, that
he
quality
wanted to
simply
win the
goes a
game no matter
long
what.
way.
Until they couldn't
The
just play
next
no more
category has
because
to
of
be
their damn
one
back
of my favorite
injury.
ones. It's the passing. I think Larry Bird was one of the most underrated passers in NBA history,
really
simply
was.
because that guy was
For
amazing
his
when
whole
it came
career,
to passing. To
for
me,
a small
actually, he
forward,
was
averaged
almost as
6.3
good as
assists a
Magic
game.
Johnson. That guy has that so-called passing gift. Back in the days, and even until today, it's not so common that tall players actually have a good court vision, but Larry Bird literally could see the floor so well, always seeing the open man and create for his teammates.
Just try to figure out the angles in the game. You know, I was very fortunate. I was brought up under great coaching at a young age, how to put yourself in the court where you're in triple threat position all the time and always know where you're at on the court, even if you're not looking at the basket. So it's been great for me to learn under some of the greatest coaches that you could ever have in high school. And as I went along, all I did was just try to get better and better, learn the fundamentals, and throw my own little kick to it.
Look at that pass. Oh, what a show.
That's all it takes, man.
Forget about
Learn the
one thing I
fundamentals
did
and
have,
just
Kevin, I
add
had a vision
your
to
own
sort
little
of
flash and style to it.
understand what my teammate was going to do on pick and rolls, whether he's going to dive to the basket, where he wanted the ball.
Bird. Beautiful pass to Ford.
I picked that stuff up early in high school. I could figure out my teammates pretty well.
Bird. Slap pass to Archibald. Bird on the cut. Beautiful.
And the last two categories that I have on my list is defense and basketball IQ. I already mentioned earlier that Larry Bird was never the fastest guy, nor was he the most athletic guy. But this is exactly where the basketball IQ comes in. You don't have to be the fastest guy to be a good defender. You don't have to jump the heights to be a good defender. If you know how to position yourself, have a good communication on defense, there are ways how to defend even faster guys. And back in the days, Larry Bird had to guard some of the best players of all time, and he was capable of doing that. And there's a very interesting story from Isaiah Thomas which confirms how smart Larry Bird was defensively.
I'll never forget, everything just started, it went in slow motion. Jess Kersey is standing there, I'm looking at him, and we froze, we celebrating, and Jess Kersey starts to count, because he's standing there and he has the 1 count. So I run over, we look at the bench, no timeout, nothing. So I run over and I grab the ball, and this is probably one of the most incredible plays that's ever happened against me and that probably I've ever witnessed. From an athletic standpoint, 2 people being in sync and Bird just playing every second. And that's what the Celtics taught us, to play every second, not to play 47 and a half minutes, but to play a full 48. So I grabbed the ball from the referee. Lambier's good foul shooter. I never had taken the ball out.
The ref gave you the ball.
That wasn't my thing, right? I throw it up. Bird sneaks in. I didn't even see him. But the thing I remember the most is that joker.
That joker.
This is the out of bounds line. That joker caught the ball, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, he going out of bounds. That dude did this, like a ballerina, right? And if you go back and you watch the play, that dude is on his toes. The baseline is right up under his toes. And in my mind, he must have stood there for about 5 seconds because everything was going in slow motion in my mind, right? And it's like, I'm like, and then it's a strange moment. I'm like, damn, how you doing that? And then DJ, out of nowhere, right? Right. They are so in tune. They are so in sync. He catches the, Bird hits him. He catches the basketball, lay it up.
That was crazy.
All right, to conclude, how will Larry Bird do in today's NBA? And I know this is going to rub you young cats the wrong way, but I feel that Larry Bird still would be the best player in the NBA. Even with Kevin Durant and all those guys, that guy was a unique talent. And if I would have to put it in numbers, I think he would still average about 28 points per game, still get his 8 to 10 rebounds, still average 6 to 7 assists, and he would still stand out in today's game simply because of his high basketball IQ.
I didn't play the game for the money. I didn't play the game for...
Oh, this is on something else.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained.
Yeah, so that Larry Bird is over with. That's crazy. He said that Larry Bird would be the best player in the NBA if he was to play in the NBA today. That's wild. It might be some truth to that, but I don't know, man. But I'll put it like this. I don't think he would be, maybe not the best, but probably like one of the best. He'll be at least top 10, top 15, if not top 5. Because you got to think about it. Larry Bird was tough. Larry Bird was smart. On offense and defense, he was a leader. And he was a big-time scorer. And he can rebound. And he can pass the ball. So, he was a legit all-around player at 6'9". He could have, well, I'm not going to say easily been a point guard, but he could have been a point forward. But, because if I say point guard, he would have to guard other team's point guard, but not necessarily. But you would think he should be able to match up with other team's point guard. But a lot of point guards back then, even in his era, were kind of athletic and fast and stuff, faster than him. more likely. But yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about if Larry Bird would have dominated in today's NBA. And come back for more videos, and stay smooth, stay blessed. I'm out.